A seminar transforms your consciousness on the level of cells. A master who conducts such a seminar should be spiritually advanced and have great potential. Even if he hasn't achieved God realization yet, he should have had experience of samadhi at least once. If he has had such an experience, he understands where he leads the way to. It's a very important point. If you think that a master should just have some knowledge, but needn't put this knowledge to use, you are mistaken. He should be able to feel and to put his knowledge to use, leading people to the Supreme, to the awakening of cosmic consciousness. A person who leads the way is like a spiritual lighthouse in the sea of life. He guides, helps, and corrects. He is a friend, a father, and a master at the same time. A seminar brings changes connected with the purification of the body and consciousness on all levels. Besides, your energy is being transformed. Prana, or life energy, releases itself. The knowledge which is being transferred, or the knowledge which is already present in your consciousness, is something given from above. All these things are being transformed or transplanted at the seminar by the Master himself. The work of the Master, who controls all these processes, is very high and gentle. High teachers whose consciousness is dissolved in the space are also present at the seminar. They help those spiritual aspirants who go inwards, seeking to achieve oneness with their higher self. This is extensive cosmic work, but on the surface, it looks like a usual seminar. People coming to the seminar have different bodily constitutions. They can be in different physical and mental condition, having lots of inhibitions and physical contractions. The level of consciousness a person is on influences their body. The body responds to a person's internality. Very often people find it difficult to sit in a certain yoga position, asana. Babaji Kriya is not hatha yoga, and there isn't a strict demand to sit in a lotus pose, padmasana, in a half lotus pose, subhasana, or to sit cross-legged. Your spine should be straight, and that's the most important point. You can sit on a chair, on a stool, or on a small poof, which will help you to keep your spine straight. That's enough. God realization takes place in the spine and in the brain. It takes place neither in legs or feet, nor in hands. You use them to move and feel. Later, you'll be able to use them to create a direct connection and a feedback in the process of energization, while you are energizing your body and central nervous system. I'll explain this at the seminar. In other words, when you come to the seminar, you can be absolutely unprepared, untrained to sit, unprepared internally. You come here to prepare yourself, to speed up your own evolution. Thanks to this great and high theory, Kriya, your evolution accelerates hundreds of thousands of times over. And it is natural that the body changes. It changes if you practice. Practice is the sole criterion for testing truth, so I ask everyone to follow sadhana, a spiritual discipline, spiritual practice. This practice will change you very quickly. The word seminar sounds very social. In fact, our seminar is a complex of a few stages of initiation, included in one general initiation into spiritual practice. We're talking about Babaji Kriya now. As a rule, a person coming to a seminar is ready for it, because it is his or her soul that comes here. This soul needs transformation and God realization. On their mental level, such people might not know anything about Kriya Yoga, but they are attracted by something, and this something is much more important than any intellectual things. This something is nothing else but their spiritual nature. It is not your consciousness or your intellect that come to the seminar, but your soul. However, mental interest usually wins. People forget that it is their spiritual nature that actually leads them. So, when people come to the seminar, they get knowledge and food for thought. But the main point is that they also get true knowledge on the level of from heart to heart, and on the level of from spirit to spirit. This is a kind of direct perception, or something that can be called the technique of direct transfer of knowledge. A master who has true knowledge and has experienced oneness with God is capable to transfer knowledge directly, so that a student could then unpack this knowledge. Whatever level of consciousness people have when they come to the seminar, the master can strike a spark out of them, inspiring them to develop spiritually and be creative. To some extent, this process can be called resurrection of a soul, or arousing a soul from its sleep of ignorance. All these things take place at the seminar. Actually, this explanation is rather sketchy, as lots of different kinds of transformation take place there. At the seminar, students are given deep and important techniques, together with their clear explanation. But it's necessary to understand that technique instructions as they are do not work. Nowadays, there are some masters who give various techniques from different systems, including Kriya. But not all of these people know the keys to the techniques. Such systems of knowledge are often behind 7 locks, but these masters do not try to find keys to fit the locks. The key to self-realization, the key to knowing and perception, are the most important points in the transfer of a spiritual theory. So, not everyone is in charge of the keys. Not all the masters want to hand over the keys, because, to some extent, they want to keep people around themselves. In one of my lectures, I talked about false masters and true masters. A false master is someone who sincerely considers himself to be a real master, but is mistaken. There are also some people who know they aren't masters. However, they try to behave like real masters and create surroundings in line with their image, so that people will believe this image. Such false masters create certain conditions that make people stay with the master, giving him their resources, life force, time, and finally, the whole life. True masters don't do anything to attract people. People are attracted by the power of magnetism. It is magnetism that attracts people and takes them to the seminar. Magnetism is power that is comprised of such forces as providence, free will, and the work of spirit. I'd like you to understand how deep and complex the process is, so I have to give you these examples. It's very important for a student to practice after he has completed a seminar training, but a student's further practice isn't important for a master, because he is not attached to that. A seminar is a transfer of spiritual power and spiritual knowledge. It is the first basic initiation, which is very important. During a seminar, students receive spiritual power, love, and great creative potential. This is like a stone laid in the foundation of a temple. A cornerstone of Kriya as spiritual theory is a direct transfer of true knowledge and experience from a master to everyone who comes to him. Then a student starts developing himself through his individual efforts, and the master helps. As I've already said, this explanation is superficial because lots of things happen at the seminar. People are being purified. While they are listening to the Master's discourse and during their direct heart-to-heart communication with him, something in them is being transformed. Besides, there can be much deeper transformation or uplifting. Such uplifting is connected with spiritual transformation and with the presence of transcendental energy. So now you can understand, at least roughly imagine, what is happening at the seminar. Everything is happening softly, often without being noticed, because the energy which is present there is very high and gentle. At the same time, this energy is extremely powerful in its activity. People often ask me if every person can practice Kriya. From the viewpoint of Kriya theory, any person who has a body and consciousness manifested in this body, anyone who needs spiritual practice, has a right to get knowledge given by the yoga of the high path. In accordance with the cosmic law and cosmic consciousness, every human being in this space possesses true knowledge, which is beyond their mind and understanding. This knowledge is from above, and we just open it out. Real Kriya practice doesn't look like the gradual movement from point A to point B. We practice Kriya to awaken our true self, and it means that we open the whole array of colors right away. Of course, we do it gradually, but it is the whole array that we open, and it happens quickly enough. It is not movement from A to B, because we see and use all the alphabet simultaneously. Everyone is given all abilities and possibilities which are preserved within. So, all people who want to do something for themselves and for others, even if they haven't heard anything about Kriya before, can start practicing now. Moreover, it is not that bad if you have never heard of Kriya before. If your mind is full of different information and knowledge, you are attached to this knowledge and to your own mental concepts, which are difficult to get rid of. Such attachment can prevent you from good practicing. There is a proverb, the less you know, the better you sleep. So, if you know little, this little can help you to know much more, and this is good. If you are familiar with different theories and know a lot about them, your task is to find their cohesion. You should compartmentalize all the work that your consciousness did during your previous incarnations. This library of knowledge should be well organized, so that each theory was in its own place and under your control. Remember that any person who practices Kriya has a right to self-realization. We are created by God in His image and likeness, so we possess all the qualities He has. We advise people to come to the seminar in white clothes. White color is white light. Color is very important because it influences people's consciousness. White color unites all the other colors. Symbolically, it is perceived by any consciousness as spiritual light. If you can't come in white clothes, choose at least something of light colors, but don't put on black. Black is very sad and sorrowful. It is artificial, because nature doesn't have such a color. Even coal, which is thought to be black, isn't black, actually, as it contains lots of light reflections. The clothes you wear at a seminar should be sensible and loose-fitting, so you could feel comfortable while practicing. While you are at a seminar, you lose your social identification, being disengaged from social life and your usual attachments for a while. So, people coming to a seminar should wear special clothes. If you are practicing at home, you should first wash your body because you're practicing as a performance of divine service. After washing your body, put on special clothes which should be used only for practicing. Clothes hold energy, so putting them on again, you will increase your own magnetism. The frequently asked question is, can elderly people come to a seminar? My answer is, yes, indeed. Not only can they come, they should come. In fact, elderly people have already reached their journey's end, so they understand how meaningless our wanderings through life are. An elderly person has a chance to think about his soul, and he should do it. The fact is that if he comes to the seminar, he really has such an opportunity. Each person coming to the seminar has an opportunity of self-realization. He has this opportunity even if he has only heard about the seminar. Your physical conditioning is not important because Kriya transforms your body and makes you more trained than you had been before you started Kriya practicing. To think that people should be trained enough to start Kriya practicing is to accept that this knowledge is not universal. You should be trained enough at the moment of taking examinations, but before taking examinations, you should practice, train, and develop yourself.